पंचाकल्पतरुस्य कृपासिन्धुभ्यो च पत्यानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमं वन्दे श्रीगुरोन्दनधारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं। हरे कृष्ण। Can everyone see what I'm showing on the screen? Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Just give me 1 minute. I mean, Rishabhdev teachings are a little heavy, you know. My request to you, take it in a positive way. I mean, always, we have a room for improvement. you know. So today we are reading from I think we finished this verse, right? 6:1.
Sixth one we did not finish, Prabhuji.
What is that?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sixth one we did not finish, Prabhuji.
Oh, did not finish? I'm sorry. Then 7th and 8th are very heavy. And that's what I thought. Okay, no problem. 6th one will do it. Okay. Evam manakarma vasam prayunte. Can you repeat after me?
Evam mana karma vasam prayante.
Karma vasam prayunte.
Evam mana karma vasam prayante.
Avidyatmanyupadhiyamane.
Avidyatmanya upadhyamane.
Avidyatmanyupadhiyamane.
Avidyatmanya upadhyamane.
Pritirnayavan mayi vasudeve.
Pritirnayavan mayi
Vasudeve.
Namuchyate deha yogena tavat.
Namuchyate deha yogena tavat.
The living entities, can somebody read the translation?
When the living entity is covered by the mode of ignorance, he doesn't understand the individual living being and the supreme living being, and his mind is subjugated to fruitive activity. Therefore, until one has love for Lord Vasudev, who is none other than myself, he is certainly not delivered from having to accept material body again and again. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Can somebody read the purport, one paragraph each?
When the mind is polluted by fruitive activity, the living entity wants to be elevated from one material position to another. Generally, everyone is involved in working hard day and night to improve his economic condition. Even when one understands the Vedic rituals, he becomes interested in promotion to heavenly planets, not knowing that one's real interest lies in returning home back to Godhead. By acting on the platform of fruitive activity, one wanders throughout the universe in different species and forms. Unless he comes in contact with a devotee of the Lord, a guru, he does not become attached to the service of the Lord Vasudev. Knowledge of Vasudev requires many births to understand, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7.19. Vasudeva Sarvam iti sa Mahatma Sadurlabha. After struggling for existence for many births, one may take shelter at the lotus feet of Vasudeva Krishna. When this happens, one actually becomes wise and surrenders unto him. This is the only way to stop the repetition of birth and death. This is confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 19.151 in the instruction given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Rupa Goswami at Dashavamedha Ghat. Hare Krishna.
Somebody can hear this.
ब्रह्मांड भ्रमिते को न भाग्यवान जीवा गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पाए भक्ति लता बीज. The living entity wanders throughout different planets in different forms and bodies, but if by chance he comes in contact with a bona fide spiritual master, by the grace of the spiritual master, he receives Lord Krishna's shelter and his devotional life begins. Hari Bol.
Thank you. So, somebody is scratching on the screen. Some children. So, my request to you, actually next two verses are very heavy for anybody, you know. So we'll try to cover them also today. So when the living entity is in mode of ignorance, we think we are the mode of ignorance and passion actually. We think we are this body, but we don't think we are spirit soul, and Krishna is in our heart. It's difficult actually, it's impossible to realize that. Even if you know theoretically Krishna is in your heart as Paramatma, we may even learn the verse. Ishvara sarvabhutana vriddhi sarjana tishtati. Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhana maya. We may quote even verses, but we are not conscious of it. Why? Because that is a sign we are in the mode of passion and ignorance, especially ignorance. So when we are in the mode of ignorance, karmatmakam ena sarira bandha. So karmatmaka means we become fruitive. Fruitive means, anyone knows what fruitive means? Huh? What is fruitive? What is fruitive mentality?
Where you want something in return for
Yes.
doing something.
You want fruit. You know, matlab, it means I want to be recognized. I want I want everyone to know my role in this. You know, maine kiya. I have done this. You know, I want everyone to know I'm very hardworking. I want everyone to know I am a little more intelligent than you all think. So we have done this. I have done this. So karmatmakam means then the mind becomes colored by fruitive activity. Then what happens? Sarira bandha. You know? And see, Prabhupada is writing here, we want to, you know, how long do we stay in the material world? As long as we have desire to enjoy. If you all see, we all have the strong desire to enjoy the senses. That's, I mean, that is natural for a conditioned soul. But unless we transcend that condition, you know, we have to be in the cycle of birth and death. That's why the Brahmavadi or Mayavadi, what they do, niti, not this, not this, not this. Why people in the past would go to Himalayas and meditate, giving up everything. Or Vrindavan. Because they want to realize everything is illusion. And you know, so why do I pursue that? So like if you see, what is that? What is it? Sutapa and Prusni, Aditi and Kasyapa. They have done austerities, eating only leaves. So, you know, eating only leaves. So, austerity means voluntarily troubling the body. You know, fasting. That's how we would elevate. But in the case of a devotee, world is not illusion. World is not illusion, but world is temporary for us. Brahma Satyam, Jain Mithya is for, and the followers of Mayavad philosophy. But for us, everything is temporary, because it is Krishna's creation. So what we do, we try to spiritualize everything to avoid fruitiveness. That is the only way. Huh? Otherwise, actually, Mayavadis do a lot more austerities than us. In fact, we enjoy a lot actually. And then sometimes in the name of bhakti also. So even if you go to heavenly planet, so Prabhupada is writing here, until one has developed love for Vasudeva, and who is none other than myself, Rishabhdev is telling that. Means Rishabhdev is actual incarnation. Until we develop Shraddha to Prema, the process given for us, right? So until we develop the love of God, we cannot transcend the cycle of birth and death. In other words, goal of life is to transcend the cycle of birth and death. Like Corona is raging in India and people are dying left and right. In America and Michigan, it was same before. Even now, actually, but maybe a little reduced compared to India. They all have so many desires, but they love the world, so they have to come again if they have desires. You're all listening. At least So when we see such a, when we see this whole thing of old age, disease, and death in a 3D animated movie right now, one should be prepared for it, not with fear, but it is a natural progression of the soul. Birth, old age, disease, and death. Jatasya maranam dhruvam. Jatasya hidruvo mrityuh. Dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Tasmad pariharyarde natvam sochitum arhasi. So when birth is there, naturally ending of the body is also there, death. So, but what is our goal? We don't meditate on death. We meditate on spiritualizing our consciousness. We meditate on Krishna consciousness. We meditate on becoming a Krishnaized. Vasudeva Sarvameti Samatma Sudurlabha. In other words, we try to surrender to Krishna. If not, we will continue in the cycle of birth and death. Do you all remember 2 years before you took birth, where were you? What was the family that you were connected? You were man or woman or a species? Huh? In America, it's very famous. Hypnotic regressions. They take you back. And it's famous now. People come to the stadiums and they take people through hypnotic regression. Some people said in the past lives they were animals actually. They recollected. Hare Krishna. So my point is, in other words, these verses are all true. So what do? We get initiated under the guidance of Guru, bona fide spiritual master. We perform bhakti to slowly come out of anartha nivritti. Then nishta ruchi bhava, nishta ruchi asakti, bhava, sthayi bhava and prema. So that's the goal of life. We have a goal. Like others, we have a goal. What is the goal? Not we don't consider time in terms of money. We consider time in terms of purification. Otherwise, suddenly, I'm in my 50s and I'm worried now. Are kya, practicing serious. I did not practice seriously. I should have practiced more seriously. I should have joined full time, much earlier. All that money I tried to earn, it is not there. Everything is gone. So when everything, Kulashekar Alvar says this, when the hands and legs and the consciousness is proper, be Krishna conscious today. Be Krishna conscious today. chant extra rounds, and read. Every day we should actually, Journey of Pankaj Prabhu says we should read every day 2 hours. 2 hours, are you reading? Okay. 20 minutes, 10%. Are you reading 10%? At least. No? So then these sessions are for that. Now next verses are a little heavy. I know, be prepared. Yadana pasyatyata yatana pasyatyata guneham swardi pramatta sahasa vipaschit gata smritir vindati tatra tapan asadhya maitunya magaram ajna. Can somebody read the translation? These next 2 verses we'll see today itself, and I will finish it. Can somebody read the translation, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Even though one may be very learned and wise, he is mad if he does not understand that the endeavor for sense gratification is a useless waste of time. Being forgetful of his own interest, he tries to be happy in the material world, centering his interest around his home, which is based on sexual intercourse and which brings him all kinds of material miseries. In this way, one is no better than a foolish animal.
Can somebody read the purport?
In the
Hare Krishna.
lowest stage of devotional life, one is not an unalloyed devotee. Anyabhilashita shunyam janma karmadi anavritam. Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhya Leela 19.167. To be an unalloyed devotee, one must be freed from all material desires and untouched by fruitive activity and speculative knowledge. On the lower platform, one may sometimes be interested in philosophical speculation with a tinge of devotion. However, at that stage, one is still interested in sense gratification and is contaminated by the modes of material nature. The influence of Maya is so strong that even a person advanced in knowledge actually forgets that he is Krishna's eternal servant. Therefore, he remains satisfied in his householder life, which is centered around sexual intercourse. Conceding to a life of sex, he agrees to suffer all kinds of material miseries. Due to ignorance, one is thus bound by the chain of material laws. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Rishabhdev is telling his children, but after hearing, they all got married. But what was their consciousness? So goal of life is to come out of 3 modes. What is the goal of life? Come out of 3 modes. Is it easy? Mom, how to come out of 3 modes? Huh? Goal of life is not to become GBC. Goal of life is not to become a millionaire or billionaire. Because old age is there for them also. Body means suffering. One time His Holiness Rajanaswami was invited to maybe one of the richest man of India. Sorry, one of the richest men of India. I'm sorry. Are the richest men of India, the richest family of India. So he went to their home. I'm sure who is the richest, you all know very well. So His Holiness Rajanaswami says that the home is, the richness is reflecting everywhere. The richness is reflecting everywhere. But that person, he came and they were talking, and he suddenly showed a boil on his knee. And he said, this is giving so much trouble. There is so much suffering. So the number one that being recognized as the richest man of India is not making him happy when there is a boil on the knee. So when somebody goes through old age, disease, or leaving the body, then all these things won't give them we may remember it, so they don't give them happiness actually. So we already read before karmatmakam, fruity activity. This becomes stronger when somebody is in a gruhamedi life, not a grihastha life. Grihastha means one is very Krishna conscious, initiated at home. Initiated with family and kids. He or she is trying to make their children Krishna conscious. Understanding that everything is temporary, even the relationships are also temporary. But Krishna is eternal. So let me make the whole family Krishnized. That is grihastha. Otherwise, what happens? We become bound. We become bound. I was studying 7th grade. I went to somebody's home. And that home was filled with all the posters. And the owner said, we are Devi Upasakas. I said this before actually. And so it means, Devi Upasana means you all know in India, right? So he said, we are Sri Devi Upasakas. That she was those are the calendars they were hanging. I think the person passed away at least 10 years now. So my point is, our worship should be centered around Krishna. Vasudeva Saramiti Smatna Sudurlabha. What is this? If we surrender to Krishna, how to come out of three modes? Mam chaya avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Anybody who performs bhakti, avyabhicharena bhakti means unmotivated, uninterrupted bhakti. That person eventually will come out of the three modes. He can have children, he or she, they can have money, everything. Like Bhagavatam. Majority of the characters in Bhagavatam are all grihasthas. Then why they have occupied the page of Bhagavatam? Because they have done everything for the pleasure of Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, so the point is, Prabhupada is writing, even the influence of mind is so strong. A person advanced in knowledge also forgets he is Krishna's servant. Yeah, that's true. I don't remember, I'm Krishna's servant. Our egos are so high. I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. Right? That is very important. Actually, when somebody enjoys in private, they can never forget that person. It creates a bondage. One time, what is that? I'm sure you all know Karuna Radhika Mataji. She used to be in Michigan. She came to Mumbai, and I took her to Ananda Vrindavan Prabhu. Karuna Radhika Mataji's son is already working. He's grown up. He finished his graduation. Then he's working already 4 or 5 years, maybe 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know. And Ananda Vrindavan Prabhu's son is also. I must have completed chartered accounts. This couple of years ago, that time both their children were in the colleges. I told Anandan Prabhu, I don't live here. This Mataji moved back to India. And, please, I want to introduce you. Please talk to her. Anandan was, I don't want to talk to ladies, This is daytime. There were literally thousands of people. And, I'm not telling you to talk to her private. I'll be there. He said, no, I don't want to talk. I was really shocked, actually. Then I thought, wow, Grihastha has this type of consciousness because he wants to go back to Godhead. In other words, for him, Godhead is a reality. Spiritual world is a reality. He is doing that type of intense sadhana. You're all listening?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
He works only 1.5 days in a week. 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 1.5 Just 1.5 days in a week. Past 20-25 years, he's doing his work. He's doing like that. So he works only 1.5 days in a week, and I'll call you again. So he works only what is that? 1.5 days in a week, and he's telling, I don't want to talk. So bhakti, it means bhakti. It doesn't matter what ashram you're in, how sincere and serious you are. That matters. You're listening? Otherwise, what happens? If you want, I can repeat his words. We are very intimately connected. We talk like anything. Probably this verse also will include, because 7 and 8 are together actually, and we'll discuss. Pumsam striya maithini bhavametam tayor mita hrudaya grandimahu ato grahakshetra stapta vitere janasya mohoyam hamameti. Very heavy verse actually. Can somebody read the translation? And whoever has read, please don't read, give others opportunity.
I will read for the attraction between male and female is the basis principle of material existence. On the basis of this material misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attached to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. Very good.
Somebody read the purport.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, can I read?
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. Sex serves as a natural attraction between man and woman, and when they are married, their relationship becomes more involved. Due to the entangling relationship between man and woman, there is a sense of illusion whereby one thinks this man is my husband or this woman is my wife. This is called Hridaya Graniti, the heart knot in the heart. This knot is very difficult to undo, even though a man and woman separate either for the principle of Varna Ashna or simply to get the divorce. In any case, the man always thinks of the women and the women always think of a man. Thus, a person becomes materially attached to family, property, and children. Although all of these are temporary, the processor unfortunately identifies with his property and wealth. Sometimes, even after renunciation, one becomes attached to a temple or to the few things that constitute the property of a sannyasi. But such attachment is not as strong as family attachment. The attachment to the family is the stronger illusion. In the Surya Samhita, it is stated. ब्रह्मत्या यज्ञि अवद्गत्या पूजन्ते श्री सहायिना बोध्यन्ते केचन इतेशं विशेषं च विधो. Sometimes it is found among exalted personalities like Lord Brahma that the wife and children are not a cause of bondage. On the contrary, the wife actually helps further spiritual life and liberation. Nonetheless, most people are bound by the knots of the material relationship, and consequently they forget their relationship with the Krishna. Thank you, my great Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So, Pumsam striya maithini bhavame. I have a question for all of you. Why the technology is developing anything? Trains were discovered, invented, flights were invented. Then there's a lot of technology in the home construction. then air conditioning, then internet. So I have a question for all of you. What is the one reason behind all this technological development? Anybody? Only one reason.
Sense enjoyment pros.
Who's this?
Attraction between man and woman.
That's it. Whoever said both are right, sense enjoyment and interaction between man and woman. That's it. That's the only thing. We want to make our life more and comfortable. What is material life? Eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. So, Prabhupada says, if all the women stay with their parents, all the men stay in the forest, they'll be very peaceful and happy. But it's natural attraction. That attraction is natural. In fact, if you see, even a mosquito, or a firefly. Firefly? I heard this from, Radhanas from Maharaj. Firefly has the light. I'm sure you all have seen. That firefly is actually male. Means firefly shows to female, hey, look, if you marry me, I can illuminate your home. You can illuminate your whole life. So that it's natural. It's that attraction, That's a basic principle of material existence. But you all know, material world is what? A perverted reflection of spiritual world. So we all have love for Krishna. That love, when it becomes perverted, it turns into, prema turns into kama. It's a hridaya grandhi. What is that? Tayomito hridaya grandhi. Hard knot. Pumsam striya maithri bhavametam tayomito hridaya grandhi mahu. So then, Rishabhdev is telling, then you need a home. Then you need facilities. You need water. You all know very well. And so we need amenities, facilities, luxuries. Then if you are not Krishna conscious, you are bound. Why? I'm sure many of us might not have thought a verse like this, is written in Bhagavatam. What happens, Tayamito hridaya grandhi, that hard knot. Then you'll start identifying yourself, with the family, children, the home and bank balance. Basically assets. That is your consciousness. If you put your hand on anyone's pocket, what pictures they'll take? What pictures will come out? Spouse, the assets. And that's what they meditate. That is what they meditate. Then what happens? You all know Puranjana story. Puranjana marries to his wife. Puranjana means a person who enjoys the body. Puranjana. So he creates children through his wife. This story, wife becomes upset also with him. So, but still he is very much used to enjoying. But then what happens? Then what happens? Chandavega is attacked by this time factor. Kala Kanya. So time, and it comes like a force. And everyone has this 5-hooded serpent, the 5 life airs. They fight. Time attacks in the form of viruses, corona, that and this. Then the five-hooded serpent, what it will do? It will try to defend. But when the time is up, what he will do? What is that? The commander, he has 365 army for black and white. Black is daytime, nighttime, white is daytime. So they are the soldiers, they'll come and attack. Then the five-hooded serpent tries to defend. But because the fight goes on for a long time, the serpent becomes weak. And what he will do? They'll put the city on the fire. Means he's trying to destroy the body. And what he will do? He'll arrest Puranjana. But problem is, Puranjana was not ready for this. He's very much attached, he's attached to luxuries of the Pura. Pura means body, especially, with his wife and kids. And they've arrested him, they're taking him away. And Puranjana, his wife, no, you're leaving. Yeah, no, so who will take care? How will you live without me? How will you take care of children without me? As they're dragging him out of the city and they put the city on the fire. City means body. Puranjana is piteously thinking about his wife and kids, especially wife, how she will take care of kids because of the attachment that he has. In the next life, he'll become a woman. In the next life, he'll become a woman. When he'll become a woman, he's married to a king. He's married to a king again. In the previous life, you're a king. You're married to a queen. But this lifetime, you're a woman. You're married to a king, and you have become a queen. But this husband is very spiritual. The husband is very spiritual, so he is very focused on bhakti. And what happens? Suddenly he dies. When he dies, Puranjana, in the form of woman, he keeps on crying like anything, feeling separation for the husband. Then Paramatma, Krishna, comes as a child and says, hey, why are you crying? Oh, my husband died. Who is the man? Who is woman? Who is husband? Who is the father? Who is the mother? Who is the husband? In the previous life, you were actually a king, a man. Because of your attachment, because of your absorption in a feminine body, this lifetime you have become a woman. You have become a woman. But you're not the man, you're not the woman. But who are you? Spirit soul. You're my part and parcel. Avijñāta Sakha. Avijñāta Sakha means unknown friend. I am watching you. Believe me, I'm just really, it's very easy to speak when somebody is listening. Theory, but it's very difficult to apply. So what happens? Ato grah kshetra sutapta vidya. Suta apta vittayar. Vitta means money, suta means children, apta relatives. Again, then what happens? Earlier we compete with the brothers and sisters. Now we want our children to compete with our children. Our sisters' children, brothers' children. I want to make sure they are more intelligent than my children are more intelligent than you. Believe me, it will go to grandchildren also. Hare Krishna. I'm miserable, but little better than my sister, little better than my brother. We are in America anyway. Sure, we may have so many problems. How many of you agree? Am I wrong? Am I not right?
Fully agree with you, Prabhuji.
Completely agreed, Prabhuji.
We agree, Prabhuji.
So, so the thing is, Brahma lives only 311 trillion 40 billion years, and Prabhupada writes, in Atlantic Ocean, the bubbles that come, how many bubbles are there in Atlantic Ocean? Prabhupada says that many Brahmas came and gone. But This mind has this nature, three natures: compare, complain, criticize. We compare with others, and complain. Hey, this guy has ruined my life. My father only ruined my life. My mother only, my brother only ruined my life. I really did not want to study this, but they only forced me. I don't want to get him married. They had to marry this person, but they only forced me. All these troubles, they are the reason. I mean, maybe different examples, but we think like that. Complain, we complain. Because of you only, I'm like this. I'm sorry, but I want to share with you. I went back to India 2008. Actually, one time I went home. I was not Bombay. I would live in Chopper Temple. So I was coming back home. I was coming back to Temple. So, it's back to Mumbai is very far. So, it takes like 1.5 2 days. Naturally, anybody you sit, Indians know that we talk. So opposite, the family, they are going to Mumbai and they start talking. So Prabhuji said, I'm a child accountant, and he's already 69-year-old. I still remember. This is after 10 years ago, actually. 10 or 12, 13, actually. Daughter is also becoming a child accountant. And suddenly the mother said, 69, mother, you must be 63, 64, this wife. My husband doesn't give time to me. I was thinking, Hare Krishna. He's already retired. He's probably still working, for him. He want to have more money so that, the daughter is still studying, naturally, India, third world country. So he is working. So my husband doesn't give time, he doesn't have time for me. He has time for everything. And he said, probably I'm working only for the family. Why she doesn't understand? I was thinking, wow, see, he's already 69. Means, there is not so much time left. So the bodily absorption, sharira, karmatmakam yena sarira bandha. Bodily consciousness. Today's world has changed a lot. India also changed a lot. At least you're all amazingly wonderful. You're coming together to understand the goal of life, to understand the intricacies of the material nature, to understand bhakti, and you're somehow or other you're pursuing the bhakti seriously. Amazing, actually. But world is not like that. Sikar mein bhi chodwa hai dampatya ratare vahi. One lecture I was telling, I was reading, I was listening, of course, from Radhana Swami. So in America, 20, 40 years later, boyfriend, girlfriend, love marriage. Hey, when you're in 20, so beautiful. Now you're 40, you're not that much beautiful. So we'll divorce. There are Prabhus who divorced. I mean, America. So there are 3 levels of marriage. Parthivaras. Parthivaras means, actually, Gauranga Prabhu said this very nicely. I liked it. I mean, what he did, he applied this to family life, but actually that is happiness. Parthivaras means your body and the body. So as long as you give happiness to me, I give happiness to you, we're together. But what happens, happiness, after 3 years, egos come out. You run me my way. That is Parthivaras. Parthiva means body, actually. The next level is there, which is Swargiyaras. Swargiyaras means, a little better. We are married, the marriage is very sacred. And they may not have philosophy, but so children come. If we are divorced, the egos come. There's so much difference of opinion. Okay, all right, we'll get along for the sake of children. Actually, I cannot even bear the shadow of yours, but what will happen to children's future? So we'll get along. This is a Swargiyaras, means some sacrifice, though you cannot. It's for the sake of children, whatever, in families, we are very traditional. What will the relatives think? Like that. The third level is Vaikuntha ras or Bhakti ras. Wife and husband, they keep Krishna in the center. Wife and husband, they keep Krishna in the center, and they keep Krishna in the center, and they keep Krishna in the center, and they know we are a spirit soul. This life we make progress from point A to point B. The other person is also a spirit soul. Conditioning is there, but we want, he or she wants to make progress from point A to point B. Let us come together and let us progress together. Let us egos. Let us check the egos together, and in that process, let us leave a nice legacy together to the children. My father is very good. My mother is excellent. My father is excellent. So if you leave that legacy, actually today not many people are doing that. Do you all know? Grihastha ashram is the only ashram that maintains all the three ashrams. Brahmacharis come from Grihastha ashram only. And then father and mother are very civilized, cultured. And from there actually Brahmacharis come. And ideally Vedic culture, Varanashram, Grihasthas, they are the only ones who work. Brahmacharis, Vanaprasthas and Sannyas, they don't work. So if they maintain these three ashrams very carefully, even though there are here and there a little, inadequacies, but because they're maintaining it, they're continuing in the material world, struggling, still they'll go back to Godhead. Why? They're shouldering the responsibility. You all know very well, Srila Prabhupada is the one who has created history. Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur had all the, he has given sannyas to so many, not even one fell down. But they couldn't create history what Prabhupada did. Prabhupada was a gross with 6 children. Hare Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur with 10 children. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, wow. And what type of grostha he was? Gave birth to Saraswati Thakur. Hare Krishna. So father is great, son is great. Native Brahmachari son, father is a very advanced. Prabhupada said, after Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I am the only advanced. I am after him, I am also advanced. Grostha. Means they did everything for the pleasure of Krishna. And they created history. Believe me, telling is very easy when somebody is listening. And Bhakti, Ashram, what is very important is Bhakti, not the Ashram. Ashram is wherever you are comfortable, you should be there. Out of 12 Mahajans, 7 are Grosthas. And the whole world, the person who has created a Krishna conscious revolution is actually Srila Prabhupada was actually in all the 4 ashrams. If not, the danger is there. Prabhupada came to one time America. We have no idea what it was when Prabhupada was there. So Prabhupada kept thousands of people. So when Prabhupada would get on the flight, they would all offer obeisances on the ground. Thousands. You don't see thousands of people in the airport even nowadays. You don't see them offering obeisances. Prabhupada told Suttakirturu, you know why they're offering obeisances? I have no sex desire. Wow. It is not easy to overcome that. It is not easy to overcome that. So the point is, goal of life is to, overcome the anarthas. So anartha nivritti. But for that we have to go for artha pravritti. Your artha pravritti means anarthas means unwanted things. Arthas, whatever your strengths. Rather than thinking about when I'll get rid of my impurities, utilize, your positive qualities in Krishna service. Okay, you have strength, preach, or your bhakti distribution ability, do it, or whatever you utilize. Your children, engage them in Krishna service. That is Artha Pravrti. Engaging your positives in Krishna service. I want to end it here. Any question or comment? Sorry if I've spoken anything wrong. Do excuse me. I'm equally conditioned soul with all the anarthas. Any question or comment? Is it heavy?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so very, very much for the very instructive nectar. We have read it, but the way Prabhuji you are explaining it is very, very instructive. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much. You are setting a wonderful example. Actually, I want to, if you say, I can tell you another side. So this is about a very wonderful family life. Nowadays, keeping wife and husband together is becoming difficult. That is even worse. If we, it is very happy to see somebody, wife and husband together, leading Krishna conscious life. That's what we want actually. Why? So, but though it's a cause of bondage, at least it is not as, what is that term? But Jayapatak Swami said this one time, 1999, and in his Vyasa Puja lecture, I was there. So it creates only bondage, but it's not a sin. But nowadays, for small things, hard. Your way, me, my way, Hare Krishna. So sad because bhakti, there's no preaching, there's no training for Prabhujis, there's no training for Matajis, and there's only chaos. Hare Krishna. Any question or comment?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, you said at the end that we shouldn't be thinking about our anarthas so much, but rather engage our positives in his service. But when we have so much force of anarthas, even engaging in service, we every moment are seeing those anarthas, which distracts us because our service has no quality. So how do we still keep that positive engagement, Prabhuji?
That is your humility, So, if you chant, thinking, you're chanting for the purification of your anarthas, you're chanting to purify your heart. Sachinandan Maharaj says, your chanting is mode of goodness. So, but if you chant for the pleasure of Krishna, the chanting is transcendental. I'm also with my experience, I'm telling, for a long time I also have done this. I'm chanting for my purification, I'm doing this, but believe me, this devotee Haripashad Prabhu, one time he came to our temple for maintenance, and he said, no, even though with all the impurities, we should do that. Rather than rather than focusing so much on I have greed, I have envy, I have lust, I have anger. No, everyone has it. So, but real humility is not thinking less of oneself, but thinking about oneself less. I don't know whether you understood or not. So don't think less of yourself. That is not humility. Real humility is आपके बारे में सोचिए मत. I am bad. Arey, why you think about yourself? I am bad. Don't think about yourself at all. Do service. So too much self-consciousness about others, it's actually Maya. One time, what is that, Maharaj? Barsana Maharaj told me, okay, there is a fall, you have a fall on the mind. If you keep on thinking, why it happened, why I fell down, that is Maharaj said, that is even attack of Maya. Few days are over and you're thinking, why it happened. Hare Krishna. You should forgive yourself also. The way you forgive others. You should be compassionate to yourself also. But this doesn't mean you do all the nonsense in the morning and evening I forgive myself. That will create hypocrisy. Actually, it will lead to gross fallen actually. So we understand we have impurities, and what we do. I want to engage in bhakti. Amma, you have children. When a child passes stool, will you pick him up or not? No, I reject him. My son has passed stool. I don't want to look at his face. No, mother will pick up every day. That is Radharani. That is Krishna. That is Lord Chaitanya. Nityananda Prabhu. They will do that. They know that. Not that you ask forgiveness and you not that you'll not have any problems in future. Definitely it'll have. But we have to be very diligent. In our sadhana, we consciously try to avoid, but as long as impurities are there, mind is a karmatmakam, colored. So many lifetimes of impurity. What we do, we diligently try to avoid. So we we are very careful in our association. We are careful in what we are presenting. We are careful in talking. We cultivate positive qualities like respect. We don't want to criticize other devotees. We don't want to criticize anybody. So these are the fences. But rather than thinking too much about others, think about how I can serve Krishna. Like for example, okay, let me do this. Let me do this. Let me please, Vaishnava Seva. Bhagavat Seva. Just think, So don't think your quality of seva is affected because you have impure mind. No, you try. In the try, one time, one devotee asked in Gitanagar retreat, when you talk about Haridas Thakur and all these advanced devotees, we are miserable because we have been trying. We have been trying, but the same old anarthas. And sometimes it's frustrating. Maharaj said, continue. One day, without your knowledge, you will be lifted. But that time, don't become proud, but stay humble and continue. You're listening?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Okay, does it answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Any other question or not? Otherwise, we'll end it. Question or comment?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, no question, Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam. Just a thing. I don't know whether I'm qualified to say this thing, but I just felt, so I'm sharing this.
Who is this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, this is Mani from Grand Rapids.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, since we are all connecting remotely and things like that to get the association and things like that. So in the meet, probably whoever possible, if we can have the video turned on, it will feel more connected and still, the Sangha association is be there still. I mean, that's kind of my feeling, if it is possible.
Everyone is listening to what you're telling. So
sure, Prabhu will do that. Yes, actually. Yes, Prabhu will do that.
Anything else? Otherwise, we'll end it. No? So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I have one question, Prabhuji.
Amma.
Yes, Prabhuji, as you mentioned the Puranjana story, he was thinking of the family who will take care of them. So my question is, Prabhuji, being a practicing devotee, we are chanting, hearing, reading, but still living in a family, we have attachment to family, spouse, kids, parents. So can you please throw some light, while serving them, how we can be detached and move forward?
Your son will come and say, "Mommy," and he'll embrace you. So you will push him. Hey, we are not the body, you're a spirit soul. We have so many fathers, so many mothers, so many children. Don't do that. So Krishna is the attachment. The Prabhupada says it's very natural, having attachment to family and children, but you have to spiritualize that attachment. Honestly speaking, father and son is one level of attachment. Father, mother, and son is one level of attachment. Or father and mother, one level of attachment. I mean, wife and husband. But devotee, father is a devotee, mother is a devotee, son is a devotee. Higher level attachment. Abhimanyu and Arjun. Abhimanyu and Arjun, their father and son. It's an attachment. But Abhimanyu is a devotee, Arjun is a devotee, another level attachment. One time, one lecturer, Krishna Chandra Prabhu's wife, Radha Priya Mataji, is asking, Maharaj, I want my grandson to be my godbrother. I want my grandson to be my godbrother. Amazing. Already her daughters became her god sisters. The whole family becomes Krishna conscious, and we talk about it. If Bhagavatam, Puranjana story is there, but Kunti story is also there. Kunti is there, Pandavas are there, and one of the famous prayers is Kunti prayers. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada wrote a separate book about Kunti's prayers. Kunti was not living in Himalayas or Vrindavan as a Vanaprasthi. Kunti was living with children. So, keep Krishna firmly in the center and train your children to take shelter of Krishna firmly. You train, it's up to them to take. And rest, lead a normal life. You're understanding?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Does it answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Chant your rounds, do the bhakti process sincerely. Krishna is in control. That's what I get. Nice question, actually. Actually, I wanted somebody to ask so that I can quote. Otherwise, children will come. No, go away from here. It's all Maya. Not like that. So you're not this body, Mommy, I'm hungry. Hungry means one of the attacks of Maya. Thirst, hunger. No, that is dangerous actually. That type of things happened in the past, in the initial days of Krishna consciousness. That's why some people, Gurukulis, they are, they hate, So actually you have to take care of your children. Taking care of children is, if you take care of them nicely, it is as good as attending Mangalarti in the morning. If child gets up in the morning, 5 o'clock, starts crying, you take care of them, it's actually attending. If you, okay, this is a Krishna given gift, it's your son. And if you take care of them, yes, you're attending Mangalarti actually. I mean, I cannot equate like that, but actually it's Krishna consciousness. One day when Prabhupada was coming to the temple and one baby was crying on the, just somebody put a cloth and the baby was crying. Prabhupada said, whose baby is this? So call the mother. Prabhupada said, what are you doing? You're leaving the baby on the ground. Prabhupada, 9 months I am away from altar, that's why I'm doing altar service. Prabhupada said, taking care of children is your altar service now. So bring them up nicely. Dhruva went back to Godhead because of the mother's training. Can you imagine? Mother also went back to Godhead. So, not that the Dhruva Maharaj and mother, Prabhu, you're not this body, I'm not this body. Don't come to me. No, absolute affection. And Dhruva thought of the mother actually at the time of going back to Godhead. And that's when Vishnudutas understood his mind and they showed, look forward, your mother is already going. That is gratitude. That is 1,000 years before, his mother is the one who brought him to Krishna consciousness. You don't see mother giving a 7-session course. She just told whatever little, Vatmbradaksha Guru actually, not even Siksha Guru. But she introduced him to Krishna consciousness for sure. But he attained perfection. You understanding? So we'll end it here. Thank you very much for your time, and excuse me if I've spoken anything wrong, but very grateful.